The original Mark III Iron Man Marvel Legends figure of this release, not the first. Well, this was the first, but there's. I've already lost the plot. The original release of the Iron Man Mark III Marvel Legends might be the greatest disappointment, at least in my opinion, I've had with a Marvel Legends figure in my entire life. A figure I had such high hopes for. Had to have high hopes for a living. Anyway, back to the seriousness here. A figure I had such high hopes for and was so genuinely let down. Like, that's where it stands. That's where it lives in infamy as the most disappointing, dare I say, figure I've ever bought. Because on paper and in pose, it is the best looking Marvel Legends Iron Man MCU figure they've ever made. That I'm talking about this guy here. I mean, it's the same figure, but like genuine work of art. This looks like the suit. It looks like the suit walked off the screen into my hands. Genuine perfection in the sculpt. Looked amazing. But was a genuinely abysmal figure to mess with. His legs were a little strange. I felt were weird. His arms, very ratchet. You could barely move them. I was afraid to even move them. And then this kind of annoying. I feel like I got him locked in a good pose, but I feel like his arms would either be too forward or too far back. Just such a disappointing figure. It wasn't fun to mess with in the slightest. And then they released it again as the Mark II. And I thought this time, surely it'll be better. And I bought that Mark II. I can't bring it out for comparison because I have apparently lost it to the sands of time. And you'll understand why in a second. Genuinely, actually fun. I was like, oh my god, they fixed it. It's a better figure. I was so hyped. I was happy. I was like, let's go. Wish it was the one that was red and not the silver one, but you know what? It's cool. And then I snapped its arm off. And I was like, oh. And then I realized why the other one's arms were so annoying to mess with. And then my disappointment sat. And every time I see that figure sitting in my bag of figures, because I put my figures in bags, yeah, that probably annoys a lot of people, but you know what, I don't care. Every time I'd see it, I'd be disappointed, and then I'd go back to it from time to time and be like, maybe I just am misremembering how disappointing that figure is, and then I mess with it, and then I'm reminded why I hate it. So very long tangent and build up to this, so when I saw that they were re-releasing the Marvel Legends Iron Man Mark III from the first Iron Man movie in this weird Marvel Legends MCU line that they got going, which I think the concept is taking characters of popular figures of popular characters, and making sure that they're always on the shelves. We had Spider-Man, we had 85 Iron Man, had Captain America, which I did end up buying even though I had it originally, because this one I feel like just looked better because mine had a weird neck thing and his head was turned to the side. It basically took on what that Anniversary line I felt like. Because like the one like Anniversary line that had this Thor and all that, I feel like they were just re-releasing popular figure characters. That's what this has become. Basically making sure there's always an Iron Man or somebody on the shelves for like new collectors or kids to buy. And it's cool at first, and then when that's the only thing you see on shelves every time you hit the store, it kind of gets annoying. But anyway, So when I saw they were re-releasing this guy, I was very like, oh, how's this gonna go? And I wasn't paying it any mind. And then they remolded it into like a Valentine's one, and I was like, oh, they're like 2-for-1 with this guy out there, even though the last two. And this wasn't just a problem for me. A lot of people had a problem with that figure breaking and just arms being annoying like that. So I was like, oh, bold of them to release two of this dodgy figure at the same time. But I saw it in store, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. Because number one, it looks infinitely better. The shade of gold they used on this looks so much better than this original, and I want to say it's a slightly different shade of red. But look at the gold difference. Oh my god. Camera's not picking it up well, of course, but the gold looks so much better on the new one. So I was gonna pick it up, and I was like, let's see if they fixed the original problem. They did something and make the figure better, or they just took this very faulty, dodgy Iron Man figure and just resold it. And granted, I've only had it for the day, and the Mark II broke on day 2, so we'll see. But I think they might have actually fixed this figure. But before we get into that, after I've just wasted 7 minutes of your time with this long drawn out, because that's what you want in an action figure review, is a long drawn out build up to the review that lasts like half of the video. Anyway, new Marvel Legends box, same thing with this. Marvel Studios Mark III, Iron Man, Marvel Legends, interesting art. These are very interesting artwork of Iron Man. I thought they would just took a still from the movie or a 3D render, but they took this very odd comic art look of him. I feel like this is an odd shot on the back. I cannot lie. But you know what? Tony Stark takes on the world's worst villains in the Mark III suit, a technological wonder equipped with a variety of stunning enhancements and upgrades. I like how he says the world's worst villains, and the only villain, the singular only villain he fought in the Mark III suit was Ironmonger, and that's it. No one else. Not a single other soul did he fight with this suit. But you know what? And again, Mark III, that's probably the most iconic MCU Iron Man suit, because it's the first one. Is my camera tilted to the side? I think it is. Well, it's too late to fix that. Probably isn't, but you know what? It's too late for me to care. Oh, I just found Doc Ock's hand there. Okay, that's strange. I think it's probably one of the most iconic looks. And again, what I loved about this figure, at least initially and in pictures, was that this looks like the suit just walked off the screen into my hands. It looks amazing. And with this newer paint job, it looks even better. Because before, you had this brighter, like, orangish gold. And the helmet, I don't think was painted as well and didn't have the outline. Whereas this one got this more, like, it's not, is it rose gold? Not rose gold, maybe champagne gold look. Which I think just looks so much nicer on the figure. And I feel like the red is slightly different. Maybe not as orangish red, but also it could be the exact same shade of red and I'm just going crazy and it just looks different because of the gold. But the gold just pops more. This gold pops more with the red than this one did. Also, this figure just looks better just because this guy's been in a bag for like 4 years. But like, again, it looks so perfect. So when it was disappointing to mess with, it broke my heart. But so far, granted, I've been handling it with a great amount of care. because I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. But it feels better. It's still like got the dingy, thin as hell peg, but like I feel more confident, like ratchety as hell, but I feel more confident bending the arms than I do on the other one. Because the other one, some of them, like you hear that? It just sounds more rough and it's just harder to move. And then that one didn't click when I moved it like that. And I just know it's going to snap off. As the arm I had a lot of problems with. But as far as it feels like it's holding up better. Again, this is the same thought process I ran with that Mark II figure and then its arm snapped off. But those two figures were released a couple years ago. Maybe they've learned. Maybe they did something that fixed it. I hope, because it's such a gorgeous Iron Man. Like genuinely look at this. It looks amazing. Like, oh, I can't get over how good this figure looks, which is why I was so disappointed that it kind of sucked. Because, like, bringing it in for a closer look at that. Oh my god. That head sculpt. It's amazing. Oh my god. So locked in on the sculpt, I forgot to talk about the accessories. He doesn't come with nearly as much as the original release. Because the original release had an unmasked head. Well, not unmasked, but the mask was up and had this thing where you could remove this and then add a little thing that could shoot missiles out the side, which was kind of cool for like a second, and then you just got to deal with that perpetually wanting to come out. They molded it. I don't know if this was originally on the Mark II. I feel like the Mark II had it glued in. This is molded to where it doesn't have that. It's like this side. He comes with a couple accessories. Repulsor hands. Of course, sadly, no hinge. An interesting thing to note about these repulsor hands, I assume it's the same as the original one. They don't have a peg hole, so you can't use the blast effect in the hand. And also, when it comes to these blast effects, I think they've straight up just given up. This is water. He's shooting water. This is just clear. No specialty, anything to it. It's just clear. Like, they've genuinely were like, we've done every color we can, just make it clear. But yeah, you can't really use the blast effects on the hands, and then the hands are perpetually stuck in this angle out position, so kind of useless. But you know what? It is what it is. Back to the figure itself. And again, it looks so perfect. Like, look at that. And the paint job looks great. Little thingy there, which I'd want to chip off, but I'm afraid it's going to get the paint too. But like, just look at this sculpt. It genuinely looks amazing. Except for that arc reactor. I don't know what they did on this one. This one looked amazing. And then they were just like white. But besides that, like, look at that sculpt. It looked so good. It's literally just a spitting image of this Iron Man suit in figure form. Like, oh my god. That's why I want him to make a new, updated Marvel Legends MCU Iron Man, because this one looked so good, and I'd love for them to update them, but they just don't. But yeah, because again, it's just, like, again, it's just such a one-to-one from the movie. So it sucks that his posability was kind of annoying. That being said, let's get into it. He's got a dumbbell joint at the head, which I will say I do hate. I don't like dumbbell joints on characters that need to fly, because then they can't really look up a good amount, but still looks around. Got the, like, Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper shoulder pad thing where it's a ring in the arm and it goes on here like this, which then makes it really thin. And then, the Ratchet. But again, it feels better. Like, I feel like I trust it more. I don't know. But anyway, can move out decently far because this gets out the way. Bicep, double jointed elbow. Hands rotate and have a hinge, but you're not getting much because there's barely any space there. And then you got that on the back there. Diaphragm joint, which actually doesn't move the best, but moves better than some figures. And he has a thing I do find annoying because then it gets the legs kind of get finicky. He has drop down hips, allows him to kick and do all that, but then sometimes it's hard to, they don't want to, there's a problem with drop down hips in general. Sometimes they don't like to go up and then they just like staying down and it kind of gets annoying. Thigh rotation, double jointed knee. And a fun little detail is the little like circular detail. They just left that as the peg, which I think is fun because they didn't need to because they got pinless stuff now, but they left it there because it's the detail on the suit. And then up and down and rocker, but you're not getting any articulation in that. Again, just look at all that nice detail just scattered throughout. Like, oh, they nailed the sculpt. Articulation's a little hindered, but that's just the design. And those arms, I still don't fully trust, but they feel infinitely better than that original Iron Man's arms. Like, I trust I can pose this Iron Man and not be in fear of it breaking. But again, you never know. Again, I thought the same with the Mark II, and then the second day I had it, it broke. But yeah, anyway, how tall is he? Well, let's find out. Here he is next to a Star Wars Black Series and Transformers figure. Here he is next to Obi-Wan and the 86 Megatron. For some 7-inch scale comparisons, here he is next to the McFarlane Superman and the NECA Pennywise. I'm gonna start using NECA Pennywise instead because I feel like people probably collect NECA figures more than they collect the Jazzwares Halo figures. I just ran with that because it's the first thing I could think of with the pile of figures in the beginning of the channel, and also because I really like that Master Chief. Anyway, here he is next to that previous figure I bought from like this re-release line, Captain America. Considered reviewing him, didn't end up doing that. And here he is next to Thor. And why not Hulk as well. One thing I also really like about this Iron Man figure is a lot of Iron Man figures for a while were like the same height as Captain America, and I feel like the guy in the suit of armor should be taller than just regular guy. So I'm glad this Iron Man has some height to him. Really tall, might be a bit too tall, but this Cap figure's slightly older. But I like that this Iron Man has some height to him. I like to see that. And because, why not? Here he is next to Doctor Doom. Oh, really interested to see how they're gonna do that. But yeah, and here he is next to probably the previous review. I don't know how I'm gonna release these, but Spider-Man 2099. Because I was looking through my collection to get a comparison for the 2099 video. Here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Iron Man Mark 85, just because that's a pretty cool looking Iron Man. And finally, here he is next to this original release. Can't even get him to stand. And compared to what was the definitive perfect Iron Man release beforehand, the Mark 7. I still think this Mark 7 is a better figure to mess with. When you bring in terms of like how good it looks and like playability, if you will. I've got a couple hairs, dog hairs on him. This was my GOAT Iron Man, and has been my GOAT Iron Man for the longest time, just because he looks close to 1-to-1. That head's a little rough, and he poses phenomenally, and I still think he's a more fun figure to mess with than him. But again, this figure just looks so good, and hopefully he holds up. And if he holds up, it's definitely going to be amazing and worth it. Still a bit more fun of a figure, but a little older. And again, that head sculpt has just been through hell. But yeah. Here's the question. Do I recommend him? Kinda. As far as I've had him, he's been a pretty decent figure. If you just want an Iron Man for the shelf, absolutely recommend, because for a display, this is the best looking MCU Iron Man Marvel Legends. And again, the closest other one, in my opinion, is this guy. Like, if you're going to pose him up on the shelf, he's going to look amazing. Getting like a Hall of Armor, going to look amazing. Because genuinely, every time I look at this figure, I'm blown away. I'm just like, oh my god, he looks so good. But if it's one you're planning on posing a lot, I feel like he's going to be a little hindered in a lot of areas. And again, those arms, I still don't fully trust them. But again, time will tell. This guy's arms haven't broke, but they've also were just annoying to begin with. His are not as annoying and a lot easier to pose. And the Mark II broke on the second day. And I've only had this one for like 10 hours. So, again, ironically, this figure, which is perfectly fine, it took me a month to review him, but the guy that probably would have been better to wait that long to review, just to make sure he holds up, I reviewed the day I bought him. But here's hoping that he holds up, because again, it looks so good. I'm gonna be so sad if it breaks. But yeah, I give him a solid 7 out of 10. Would be so much higher, but again, I don't trust those arms still. I'm still worried. But again, I feel like enough time has passed, and I feel like they had to have gotten enough feedback to know that this Iron Man breaks. So hopefully they did something. Or tweak something. But yeah. Pray for me. But if you're willing to risk it, I do recommend him, because again, he just looks so good. It looks so good. And there's that Valentine's one that they've announced. I don't know if it's out yet. I'm on the fence if I want it, because what am I going to do with that? But also, it's kind of like dumb enough to where I kind of want it, because I love Iron Man. He's my favorite superhero. I know a lot of people probably are shocked by that, because so much, like my account, all my accounts are based off Moon Knight. So you'd think Moon Knight is my favorite superhero, but it's Iron Man. It's been Iron Man since I was a little kid, and it'll stay Iron Man until the day I die. But yeah, I feel like that's misleading. But I love Iron Man. I got so many dumb, stupid Iron Man. Like, anytime there's a dumb, stupid comic Iron Man, I kind of want to buy it. Kind of like Spider-Man, where you're just like, this is so, like, what even is this? I kind of want it. I got a lot of Iron Man figures. So something like that, I'm kind of just like, I kind of want it. It's kind of like that Target Optimus Prime, where you're just like, the hell am I going to do with this? but then you're just like, that's so stupid that I kind of want it. Who knows? Maybe I'll make maybe that'll be the Valentine's video. Which will go one of two ways. If I'll either be really happy or want to kill myself, depending on how the next couple weeks go. Your boy's got a little bit of motion going. Hopefully it goes well. You know, like this Iron Man figure and its arms. Hopefully it all works out in the end and it goes well. But yeah, that's it. Like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. I feel like I recorded 2 videos tonight. Both of them ran way longer than they should have, and I feel like they've just been weird ramblings. It's because I haven't made a video. Haven't recorded a video in a month and a half. I'm off my game. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Hopefully, you'll probably see this Iron Man. It's the one they want to keep on the shelves. If you're willing to bite the bullet, looks great. And I'll update in the future if things go awry with this figure. I'll maybe post it in my community tab. So if you want to keep updated just in case, that's where to check it out. But yeah, that's about it. Peace.